Good morning, students. Well, yesterday we had discussion on the topic secularism. I'm sure that all of you must have noted down the points that were discussed yesterday on secularism. Secularism means respect for all religions. When we talk of secularism, we talk of equality. When we talk of secularism, that means we talk of a society in which people have regards for all faiths, for all beliefs, for all religions. They do not consider anyone superior or inferior on the basis of religion. It is merit that prevails. So democracy always thrives when secularism is there. If secularism is missing, then we have religiosity in the society. We have religiosity in the society, which is very dangerous. And we can easily see the different instances of religiosity in our surroundings these days. People are looking down upon the people belonging to different religions. Many divisions are there in the society because secular fabric of our country is getting depleted. So this is something very dangerous, my dear students. So this is about essay writing, article writing. Let's move to the next segment of your question paper where we have functional grammar. So functional grammar carries 20 marks. So today I will try to discuss with you at least 15 sentences which are there in the specimen paper given in your book. So, functional grammar. When I'm writing the first sentence, she did not get the job She did not get the job even though she had all the necessary qualifications. All the necessary qualifications. She did not get the job even though she had all the necessary qualifications. So we are to rewrite the sentence using in spite of. In spite of. So she did not get the job even though she had all the necessary qualifications. So in spite of having. In spite of having all the necessary qualifications, she did not get the job. In spite of having all the necessary qualifications, she did not get the job. So she did not get the job even though she had all the necessary qualifications. If instead of this sentence, suppose you have this kind of sentence like she did not get the job even though she worked very hard for that. Okay? So here we are using had, which is the second form of have. If instead of this we use worked, which is the second form of work, then it will be in spite of working very hard for the job, she did not get the job. So in spite of, after in spite of, we have to use gerund. Gerund means where we use first form plus ing. After preposition we use gerund. So in spite of working very hard for the job, she did not get the job. Here it is in spite of having all the necessary qualifications, she did not get the job. Noted? Alright. Let's move further. The next sentence is, she did not know that the course of her life was about to change. She did not know that the course of her life is going to change. Now here we have to begin the sentence with little. Little. Little means nothing. What's the meaning of little? Nothing. She did not know that the course of her life is going to change. So we have to begin our sentence with little. अब यहाँ बना, she did not know means she knew nothing about this, that the course of her life is going to change. If it is to start with little, so we will write little did she know. Whenever any sentence starts with little, we use grammatical inversion. This is called grammatical inversion, where a sentence begins with little. The purpose of using little in the beginning is to put emphasis on our statement. So here we are putting emphasis on our statement. Little did she know that the remaining part of the sentence will remain same. Little did she know that the course of her life is going to change. Little did she know that the course of her life, which should be was, not is. Little did she know that the course of her life was going to change. Okay? Little did she know that the course of her life was going to change. The course of her life means the path of her life. The path of her life. Okay. Your next sentence, dear students, is Dina started cooking immediately upon the arrival of the guests. So, Dina started cooking immediately upon the arrival of the guest. So Dina started cooking immediately upon the arrival of the guest. Now we have to begin our sentence with as soon as. So as soon as the guests arrived, as soon as the guests arrived, Dina started cooking. Dina started cooking. So as soon as the guests arrived, Dina started cooking. Please write down. Next sentence is R.K. Narayan is the most influential Indian novelist who writes in English. R.K. Narayan is the most influential Indian novelist who writes in English. And we are to begin our answer with no other. No other. So if R.K. Narayan is the most influential Indian novelist who writes in English, so no other Indian novelist, no other Indian novelist who writes in English is more influential than R.K. Narayan. So no other Indian novelist who writes in English is more influential than R.K. Narayan. After that, your next sentence is, until my mother comes home, I cannot go out to play football. Until my mother comes home, I cannot go out to play football. Noted? Now, we have to start our answer with I can go. So, I can go to play football. I can go to play football after my mother comes home. So, when can you go to play football? After your mother comes home. Until my mother comes home means जब तक मेरी मदर घर में नहीं आती, तो तब तक मैं फुटबॉल खेलने नहीं जा सकता. यानी कि दूसरे शब्दों में मैं फुटबॉल खेलने के लिए तब जा सकता हूँ जब मेरे मदर घर में आ चुके होते हैं. Okay? So after my mother comes home, या when my mother comes home, both ways it is correct. You can also write when my mother comes home. Understood? Next sentence is, prepositions. The volume of the television needs to be turned blank as it is too loud. So what is required to be done when volume is too loud? So what is required to be done? Volume is to be turned down. Volume is to be turned down. So which preposition is to be used here? The volume of the television needs to be turned down. Needs to be turned down. Okay? As it is too loud. जो टीवी का वॉल्यूम है बहुत ज़्यादा लाउड है, इसको कम करना है तो कम करना मतलब टर्न डाउन. By the way, turn down also means reject. Means his application has been turned down. His offer has been turned down. It means his offer has been rejected. Right? Application has been rejected. So turn down also means reject. But here turn down means to put it down. उसको नीचे लेके आना. To reduce the volume. Now the next sentence is a golden opportunity turned blank just when he needed it the most. When we say that a golden opportunity turned dash just when he needed it the most, here the preposition that is to be used is up. Turn up. Turn up means arrive. A golden opportunity arrived just when he needed it the most. Like a lot many people turned up in the school to listen to the lecture. A lot many people turned up in the school to listen to an important lecture. So turn up means to arrive. Okay, how many students have turned up today? So here turned up means arrived. Next is, since I have a terrible toothache. So क्योंकि मुझे बहुत toothache हो रहा है, I cannot put dash going to the dentist any longer. So put के बाद there is a blank. Yes, students? Put off. Put off means to postpone. Put off का क्या मतलब है? To postpone. Don't put off till tomorrow what you can do today. जो आप आज कर सकते हो वो कल पर मत टालो. Okay? कल करे सो आज कर. आज करे सो अब. In English we say, don't put off till tomorrow what you can do today. So to put off means to postpone. What is the meaning of to put off? To postpone. Next is, please put dash your coat before going outside as it is cold. बाहर बहुत सर्दी है इसलिए कोट पहन लो. पहनना. Put on. Put off, postpone, put on, कपड़ा पहनना. Okay? Next is, she broke dash on receiving the news of her grandfather's death. You must have seen that there are certain people, when they get some shocking news, they cry very bitterly. So when somebody cries bitterly, when somebody loses control over himself, that is what you call breakdown. But here, the verb is broke, so we will write broke down. Broke down. So she broke down on receiving the news of her grandfather's death. She broke down means she started crying bitterly. She went out of control. She cried so bitterly that nobody could control her. So she broke down on receiving the news of her grandfather's death. Next is, she was wearing a beautiful necklace made with silver. Made with silver. The next is, the dish is made with tomatoes. Well, I want to make one correction here. When we are talking of the metal which is used to make one jewelry item, there we don't use with, there we use of. So please, my apologies for this. We have to use of here. Okay, of. So necklace was, she was wearing a beautiful necklace made of silver. Made of silver. Here, the dishes were made with chickpeas. The dishes were made with chickpeas, tomatoes, and herbs. Made with chickpeas, tomatoes, and herbs. So when something is made, when some metal is used to make some jewelry item, there we use of. But when you are talking about vegetables and we put together different vegetables to make one dish, there we use with. This is the distinction between with and of. Next is, the issue was brought dash my notice very late. The issue was brought dash my notice very late. Brought to my notice. Brought to my notice. So the preposition that is to be used here is to. The issue was brought to my notice. Means I learned about this issue very late. Next is, the children were brought dash to treat people with kindness and empathy. Empathy, this is the word empathy. Empathy means compassion, hamdardi. Okay? So the children were brought up. बच्चों का पालन पोषण करना. पालन पोषण करना means bring up and bring the second form, the third form, that is brought. Brought up. The children were brought up to treat people with kindness and empathy. Okay, noted? So that way we have done all the sentences of grammar which are given here. I'm sure you all must have noted down all these 15 sentences. After this, you have got a paragraph and the instructions are fill in the blanks in the passage given below with the appropriate form of the verb given in brackets. Do not write the passage but write the verbs in the correct order. So here you have got some words which are actually verbs within the bracket. This I will speak, okay, and you please write it down. As I walked down the street, as I walked down the street, the word walked has been used. Walked is second form of the verb. So when in one clause we have second form of the verb, then in the subsequent clause also we are to use past tense. This is the rule. Therefore, as I walked down the street, I noticed. Noticed means second form. So what did I notice? That the sun, in bracket the word is shine. It should be, I noticed. What did I notice? That the sun was shining. The sun was shining brightly in the sky. Birds were chirping. The verb given in the bracket is chirp. Birds were chirping. And the trees were swaying. Swaying means moving sideways. Like wind is blowing, so trees were swaying. Trees were swaying. Birds were chirping and trees were swaying gently in the breeze. I decided to stop at a cafe. I decided is the second form which is given here. I decided to stop at a cafe and ordered. Ordered is the word given in bracket. Ordered a cup of coffee. Ordered a cup of coffee. So in the previous clause, it is decided, and after and we are to use ordered. If decided is there in one clause, in the subsequent clause you cannot have first form, you have to have second form. Ordered a cup of coffee. The waiter greeted me warmly. The waiter greeted. The word in bracket is greeted. The waiter greeted me warmly and took my order. Next word is while. After while, we always use gerund. That is first form ing. While waiting for my coffee, I pulled out my notebook and started writing. While waiting, I pulled out my notebook and started writing. In bracket we have jot. So we are to use second form. I jotted down. When we say second form, in jotted we use double T. What do we use? Double T. Not single T. Double T. I jotted down ideas for a new story. I jotted down ideas for a new story. Jotted means noted. I noted down ideas for a new story. Scribbled furiously as the words poured out of me. I jotted down ideas for a new story. Scribbled furiously. Scribbled means to write without taking care of handwriting. Okay? Scribbled furiously as the words poured out of me. I reached for a cup. I found that I reached for a cup and I found that it disappeared. It disappeared. Suddenly everything disappeared. अचानक ही सब कुछ गायब हो गया. I woke up और मैं जाग गया. I woke up to my noisy alarm. जब अलार्म बजा तो मैं जाग गया. I woke up. So the entire paragraph is in past. Therefore, we are to use past tense. We are to use second form. We are to use was verb while attempting this kind of exercise. I'm sure you must have understood all the rules. I tried that I should give you complete clarity of the rules. You must have noted down everything. Now please attempt this entire exercise yourself, and a day after tomorrow, hopefully the school will reopen. I will see what work you have in your notebooks. Okay? So dear children, 20 marks grammar will be there in your question paper. 20 marks article writing will be there in your question paper. Article writing's practice we have done, and today we have done the practice of grammar. I'm sure you will be making good use of this discussion that we have had today, and you will also be working hard on yourself. So 11th standard students, 12th standard students, this exercise was for both the classes. I'm sure you will make good use of this discussion. God bless you all. Jeete rahe. Thank you.